Hello, my name is Cristobal Peck, and today I will be discussing discussion 4, chapters 10 through 13 of The Spirit Catches You and You Fall Down. So the two questions I will be answering today is how did these chapters make you feel? What emotions did it evoke? And did you learn something new? And did it broaden your perspective about a personal societal issue? So I'm going to be covering that second question first. So to start off, there were two things I found interesting when reading these chapters. The first one, that it was interesting to know about their opium production and how much it pretty much was their only reliance as a cash crop. In fact, the book states that 1 kilogram of opium was worth half a ton of rice, which is, from my understanding, one of their primary food sources. This made me think about their situation, what their situation might have been like if they had not discovered their ways of producing opium. What would their crash crops be considered then? And the second thing that I found interesting was I also thought it was interesting about their constant moving situation. In the book, it mentions that the Hmong moved when their living conditions became unbearable. This unbearable situation is accredited to their accumulation of garbage and animal feces. What I found interesting, however, was that according to chapter 10, the Hmong never felt homesick because many of the resources were readily available to move. In other words, their houses were held together by bamboo, wood, and rope, in which they could easily disassemble and reassemble at their leisure. Their cultural artistic value as well was always collectively brought about as a group rather than oneself. So, in other words, their culture and religion went with them anywhere they went. Hence, their ability to never truly feel homesick because their home was always within the group. This collectivistic value that the Hmong held makes it all the more heartbreaking to learn in the case of the Lee situation. Though they wanted to carry their culture and values into America, it seems as if America at the time, perhaps even today, makes it hard for these foreign groups to accommodate to westernized civilization. Um, Now, for the second question, how did the chapters make you feel and what emotions did it evoke? So, chapter 11 was a very emotional ride for me. Feelings of sadness, worry, and hopefulness came about as I was reading. I would not want to say that I understood the type of situation the Lees were going through, because I honestly do not know in the case of Leah's seizures, but I have experienced the fear of possibly losing a loved one to an illness. When my brother was at a very young age, about 2 years old, he was diagnosed with cancer, in which I believe I was 11 or so at the time. Uh, I never quite understood the situation as much as I do now in retrospect. However, I do remember questioning many things, such as why my brother had so many tubes in his mouth and his arms, and whatnot, much like the Lee's experience with Leah. But I specifically remember a lot of my family members feeling very worrisome, looking very worrisome. And I feel like because as a kid, I feel like you know when there's something wrong with your entire family. Again, I never quite understood why everyone was so worried because to me, as a kid, and much like the Lees, I felt like medicine was going to help my brother, for lack of a better phrase, get back to normal. Luckily, my brother was able to beat off the cancer, and of course, he's still with us today. However, those feelings, much like the experience I was having when reading the book, will never quite go away because of their severity. So, thank you for listening to my discussion. Have a good one.